Hey, welcome everyone to the Double Dose MMA recap of UFC Fight Night Evloev versus Murphy. I'm Junior, and joining me as always is Bad Jim. Quick opinion. What do you think about the card, Jim?
Yeah, man. It sort of sucked. You know, up, down, left, right, God only knows. Evloev became a striker. Who saw that coming? And a whole bunch. And then we had to watch MVP be, MVP, like we called it. What'd you think?
Look, I'm a little more positive because I think everything's based on expectations. So I thought that the card delivered better than expected. So.
Better than expected? What were you expecting? Complete dog garbage?
Hey, man. All I said
you're pretty low expectations.
Better than
we watched MVP dance around like a ballerina. And Sam Patterson said, "Yo, I'll dance with you," and that was the dumbest fight I've seen in history, right? And that includes bar fights. But anyway, you're right. Let's go to let's talk about our leaderboard real quick. Just keep a track, as we promised everyone out there. We're going to keep track of our wins and losses, what we did right, what we did wrong. We share every one of our picks. We track it every week. Everyone out there, you can hold us accountable for what we did right or wrong. So far this season, right off the bat, I'm kicking all sorts of, rear end with
the tail.
Thanks to Google, I can't say words. I have to use the other words. But anyway, even though these numbers are a little bit deceptive, as long as Junior and I beat AI, that's all that matters, because AI is dumb and it should be dumber than humans because, it's not smart. Just to break it down, look, we pick winners and losers. Junior always wins with the winners. He knows how to pick who's going to win in straight up matchups. And that's like week in, week out. Generally, though, I win around, I'm winning when it comes to methods, right? I know who's going to, I may not know who, but I know how that fight's going to end. And also, I'm really good at picking a win in the line. So it's kind of funny. It all comes together. It's not that bad, right? Like I said,
hey, you're in the lead.
Early. In the lead, but it's 4 points, And one good week and you're kicking my butt. But again, as long as we beat AI, that's what matters. So anyway, if you guys have a better way of doing this, you want to talk to us about it, let us know. Give it to us. But let's get right into this recap of the greatest card in history. Yes.
Oh, now you're being salty. Okay,
I'm so salty.
As we know, the opening fight was actually the anticipated debut of Campbell. And they put him up against his greatest opponent yet, Silva, right? How'd you do in this? And what do you feel about the fight, Big Jim?
Big Jim. Whoa. Okay. Yes.
Bad Jim.
Oh, I'm going to rip that phone book in it. Remember that was a thing? We would rip phone books in it. So I spoke very ill of Danny Silva, but I picked him anyway, and it turned out to be right. Just because someone needed to call the bluff of Curtis Campbell. Getting a super awesome short win in the Contender Series isn't necessarily a ticket to instant stardom. And he showed us, let's be honest, he has real weakness in his game. There's giant gaping holes. Now, he can fix them. The guy's got talent. There's no doubt. But again, I always say it. How you prepare, who you coach with, how you train, and what your strength and conditioning is like shows a lot. Danny Silva showed up way more prepared. He actually showed us what we thought we would see from Danny Silva a little while back. This is either the beginning of Danny Silva's launch, or it's just, one of those, hey, he had a good fight and Curtis will come back right back and win. So nothing magical, nothing that special, but just a really solid all-around good performance by Silva beats a very weak freshman effort by Campbell. What do you think?
Well, I'm going to say I fell for the hype and took Campbell. And when I say hype, it doesn't mean that, he wasn't good and he doesn't have skill. What happened is that Silva showed what being exposed to a better competition does. And what happens is Campbell had been, showing himself, like a world beater because obviously he was fighting in, smaller circuits. Silva had already been fighting top competition. I mean, listen, guys, Silva went to a decision with Topuria. Okay, how could I have been so blind? That alone should have just been like immediate. It's Silva. Okay. And I gotta blame you a little bit because you were so down on Silva. Oh, the guy doesn't do anything, whatever. And I said, well, at least he's
Psych.
gonna take a punch. And then you pick him. Like what a come on.
Yeah, but
I
I
thought
picked him to
I thought
sub. How dumb am I?
I
I'm
thought
so
I
dumb.
thought I
Oh,
thought
what's
we
up?
both
I
in
know.
fact, when we were watching the fights, I still thought that you had also picked Campbell based on like all the stuff that you talked about Silva. But what he showed is look, he's well trained. And like I said, if you I mean, you can count on your hand how many people have been able to go to a decision with Topuria, and he's one of them. So that means
One.
that right? Then I mean that means you
Well,
you have both a
wait.
hard head.
Yeah, wait.
It means you both
There's
have a
two.
hard head.
Go ahead. Sorry.
It means you both have a hard head, and you know enough about MMA to stay alive against arguably the deadliest striker in the lower divisions that we've seen in a long time.
Yeah, the only other person to take Topuria to a decision is his wife. Oh, too soon? Or ex-wife. Oh, too soon. Just saying. Anyway, I got you, man.
The Topuria hate from Bad Jim will never and I mean if Topuria, please guys, you have to understand. If Topuria manages somehow to walk on water, Bad Jim will claim that he can't swim. So that's how bad he dislikes this guy.
I'm an Evloev fan now. So yeah, Topuria, nothing. And by the way,
Okay.
I apologize to all my Georgian friends. I love Georgia. I love Georgia to the bottom of my heart. I think it's great. I'm also a Marab fan, which says a lot about my life choices. But just saying, there's something about him. He's just so. I'd rather watch Makhachev mow a lawn. Anyway, so let's get to the next one.
I'm one of these days. I'm just gonna
That'd be cool.
just gonna leave.
All right. Wouldn't it be cool to come home and just see Makhachev with his shirt off, just like mowing your lawn? You'd be like,
I don't think so. I will take that visualization out of my brain hopefully soon.
Let's talk about this this awesome fight. Go ahead.
It brings us to fight number 2 on the card. Dolidze versus Duncan. Okay. Fight went pretty much as I expected. Duncan's movement being way too much for Dolidze. I thought his key to the fight was simply his stance switches, man. It just didn't let Dolidze get comfortable. It couldn't allow him to find his range, and certainly couldn't find Duncan's chin. I mean, once you have Dolidze like in a situation where the guy's trying to go for a takedown, man, you know that you have it won because that's not his game. So, yeah, great job for Duncan. I don't know where Dolidze goes after this. What about you, Jim?
I don't know, man. I like what you said. It's that switch, right? He's a pure switch. He moves so fluidly through those stances and is able to throw off of either one.
Yeah.
It's first off, as you said, there's a lot of movement. I think it confused Roman. Roman had to do extra thinking, and that's not Roman's strong suit. Roman and thinking are, they don't. It's just not in the same sentence. Roman had a really good first round. Remember, I said there's good Roman, bad Roman. Well, good Roman shows up in the first round, and then that other Roman showed up where we end the fight with him back and like you're just like, oh, what are we doing here? And I think part of it is notice how everything switched when Roman took damage right under his eye.
Yeah.
We say it all the time. Everyone's got a plan until you get punched in the face. Roman Dolidze is the exact opposite of Merab. Right? Merab was in his corner. Merab gets hit, like nothing changes Merab's mind. He just keeps doing the same shit. Stuff every single minute of every round, except for against Peter Young. And look, he lost. Roman had a plan in round 1. He started executing it. He gets whacked hard, and the other Roman comes out. And I got to tell you, if you've never been hit in the face, you've never sparred, never competed, never actually done any of it, you don't know what I'm talking about. Once you get hit, one of two things happens. You either go boom and you just keep going forward, or what? You lose it all. There was a great American football player called Brett Favre. The joke was, or the note was, he played better after he got hit. He would actually play slow, soft until he got sacked. Once he got sacked, particularly hard, all of a sudden there was actual studies on this. He would play better. Other quarterbacks like Mahomes, he gets hit, he goes from unstoppable to Mr. Glass and breaks and can't do anything. It is a serious thing to take consider of. So Roman, I love you. I would just start grappling earlier. That's it. Just you got Marab in the corner. Figure out what he does, because he's got the cardio, but he just doesn't have the skill after he gets whacked. You agree or disagree with that, Junior?
I agree with your take, except you will never have me agree or go so far as saying Dolidze, I love you. He's just not my type of fighter. I think the guy is just a punching bag. So let's move on to the third fight, please. Which brings us to, let's see if I can say this correctly. Baraniewski versus Lane.
Okay, the last one, right? Yeah. Hey, wait, let me start off. You jump into this one. If you don't know now, you know. I've been saying it. Watch Evo. So, like, by the way, the broadcasters can't decide to pronounce his name. Like, the last time he fought, they called him Evo, right? Now they call him Ewo. I don't think he knows. He is a judoka. You heard it on the broadcast. He's a grappler who somehow has figured out the right technique of striking. And what he did with that slip, he goes under and comes in for the knockout. Textbook perfect. Now, he's never been struck. And he gets up there and makes his announcement. You know, he talks after the fight. He goes, I like first round. Oh, God. It just sounded so Eastern European, like, look, I'm going to have to win some more and get some English lessons. Until then, it's going to sound funny. But he is textbook. He needs a lot more serious opponent. I would even advocate, which I rarely do, for a step up in the rankings, because, like, the scrubs at the bottom aren't. I mean, Austin Lane's a scrub, right? He's there to swallow fist. And we got to see if Ewo's got a thing. Because so far, that's 3 fights, 3 knockouts, 3 with power, but he's also fighting folks who don't have a fighting chance. What do you think?
Well, I'm going to take a few things from what you said. Obviously, this was the quick fight of the night. I did take Baraniewski by KO, but I thought it would take him at least a round or two to like find his groove. That said, we just learned from the opening fight what happens when somebody that has a little skill fights scrubs. They end up looking like they're Anderson Silva. It's not until they meet high competition that their, that their cracks and their deficiencies get exposed. And I'm sorry, but Lane is not exposing anybody's weaknesses. That guy, and the only credit that I will give him is that he actually, believe it or not, I think that the fight got stopped a little premature, because even though he got dropped, he was going for legs. It's just, you knew how it was going to end, and it was going to be bad, but he wasn't completely out. It was just one more shot. Just giving him a little credit. That's as much as I can give him credit for. So, yeah, we saw what we expected. Baraniewski just, steamrolled another low opponent. It's time for a real challenge. And then we can see how much stand-up the judoka really has, because I remember in a different division, in a different gender class, a certain judoka that also fell in love with striking. Her name was Ronda Rousey, and she had put out striking a couple of scrubs until she met this little person that knocked her out, and then she went even to fight Amanda Nunes. And so her So she got exposed. I'm not saying this is the same situation, but you get you get where I'm going from, right? Like he needs better. So I completely agree with you, Jim. He needs better competition
Yeah.
to see really what he has. Right now, it's just let's move on.
I was with you until you talked about Ronda Rousey, and then all that
No,
went through my
you don't
head.
go.
All that went through my head was her fight with Michelle Rodriguez in one of the Fast and Furious movies. So good analogy, but now my brain's mush. So have a nice day. Heck of a movie fight. One of the best movie fights, gender regardless of male or female, ever.
Terrific.
Just absolutely great.
Perfect choreography.
Yeah, and if you ever watched the behind the scenes where they were like Michelle Rodriguez had to learn MMA moves and some striking and some boxing. You should absolutely just look at the behind the scenes stuff. Great, whatever. Anyway, your movie moment, not brought to you by anyone because we don't have any sponsors. Ha ha ha. So anyway, let's talk about we have to have a conversation. Okay. Why don't you take us down the road? That way it'll keep me from just ranting and raving and saying words that get us demonetized. You know who we're talking about.
So what happens here is Jim's talking about fight number 4, which obviously is Michael Venom Page who went up against Patterson. Okay. At this point, I'm pretty comfortable calling him Michael Decision Page strikes again. I mean, I picked look. I picked Page in decision that I thought would be on the boring side, and the problem is that he outdid himself. The karate style, man, it works if you're Machida and Wonder Boy, because those guys know how to use it to actually hit their opponent and finish fights and make it exciting and make it different. I mean, you're talking about Machida, who, I mean, he even knocked out Randy Couture. All right. You're talking about top of the line. The problem that is, it's not working here for Page. Yes, he's getting decisions, but he's not making new fans.
Losing them. Losing. Let's just read off his decisions. It's fun. Let's see here. He goes to a decision against Holland. He loses a decision against Gary. He wins a decision against Shara Magomedov. He wins a decision against Jared Cannonier, and then he wins a decision against Sam Patterson. All of which he dances around, runs around, does, and then emotes to the crowd. I mean, like, Sam, at one point, he just does a perfect mimic of Page running around. Page gets frustrated and says, "Come fight me." How about this, Michael Weak Sauce Page? No, we're tired of it. Go away. Go away. Go away. Go away. Go away. Go away forever. Go away.
You made me think about something, though. Okay, if you are a world beater, shouldn't you be able to deal with Page and put him away and beat him? What does that say for the guys who lost to him via decision, including Cannonier?
Look at Holland's face. I remember that fight very well. Holland's like, "Please, can we fight now?" No. You beating someone, like learning how to beat Topuria, learning how to beat Lerone Murphy, right? Undefeated. Evloev figured it out. He is boring and nonsense on the feet. It's Murphy. Okay, cool. Right? Michael Venom Page, how do you outpage Page? Don't fight? Like Patterson did that. He's like, "We're just going to stand here and do nothing for 3 rounds. Do nothing for 3 rounds." It doesn't work that way. Like, you can't beat nothing. You ever try to beat nothing? Go ahead and punch the air all day long. What's going to happen?
Well, I mean, to keep it within like the rules of the game, right? You still win by landing more significant strikes. And so it still says something about the deficiency of the fighters that he's beating, that they can't deal with somebody doing what he's doing. So he's in a sense a little bit of a problem because, like I said, so I remember when Cannonier kicked, I mean, he injured Anderson Silva with a leg kick. He defeated Anderson Silva with one leg kick. And so and he can't deal with that. So that means that, maybe the preparation wasn't there. I know we're going way too long on this, but
No,
I'm
no,
just
no.
saying,
It's good.
if
This
he
is
can if he can
critical.
be a wrench, if somebody that you think so low of, like Paige, can be a wrench in somebody's game, then that means that their
Yeah, but
game is deficient.
there's no. Actually, I'll flip it back. The rules are clear. Two things. One, pretty explicit: damage-based scoring. You must progress to a finish. Period. Two things. The third point we don't talk about is implied and explicit in a number of rules. Almost every sport. The one thing almost every sport in the world has, either implicitly or explicitly, is a rule of 100%. You, at every moment, must always give 100%. There's no layups. There's no, like whatever, right? Otherwise, largely it's to avoid accusations of, fixing for betting. He does not give 100%. He just stands around, does nothing. So that's, I don't think, a wrench. Two, he does not progress to a finish. And three, it's now, where's the damage? He's up. Oh, yeah, I got a point. He thinks he's revolutionizing MMA by karate point style, like point style karate. I no, it's not a wrench. It's not mixed martial arts. It's not a part of the game, right? If we were somewhere else, okay. So to me, it's like Kevin Holmes. Like, I came to fight. What you guys like? Sam, you want to fight? Okay, we'll dance. So I know what you're trying to say. It's not like a fighter with a weird mechanic. Like, oh, I got to figure out Yuri Prohaska. He's got a weird style. I got to figure that out. Oh, hey, he's a grappler. I got to do this. This is, like DDP is going to have to figure out Chimaev, right? I mean, or he's going to ask about the dinner. Either way, he's going to figure that out. And Chimaev is a problem. I mean, not like his style, but he is someone we're going to have to figure out. Or the UFC has given plenty of notice that not that control time only or non-progressing to a finish and non-damage based is not acceptable. Notice Evloev got the message and he decided to strike.
Well,
right?
You're racing ahead, but are you going to argue? Are you going to argue that Patterson did more damage to Paige?
No, I think Patterson just said.
There you go. Okay, so that's
no, but
the point.
if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander, but it's not.
If he can't land, okay, if Patterson can't land punches on Paige, you can't just give it to him because you dislike Paige.
How? How could you land? How do you land on Paige? He doesn't engage. If he doesn't engage.
Okay. All right. Well, that's what I'm getting at, because you're kind of arguing that he should let himself get hit. No, I mean, the guy's going to be elusive. It's on Patterson to find a way to defeat this guy. Otherwise, if nobody can defeat this guy, then you're gonna get where you're gonna have Paige as the champion because he can pitter patter everybody. Then everybody better figure out how to figure that thing out. I'm not saying that I like it. What I'm saying is that it's a problem that somebody's gotta solve, because you know what? You're gonna get some guys like Patterson, who is looking to take the next step, be derailed. So we better move on, because we could go on.
Let's add this to our ongoing conversation, like DDP and Chimaev. We got MVP is one of our ongoing debates, only because it reveals the importance of understanding what is MMA, how do we score it, and what do we expect from a fight realistically.
Yep. Exactly.
Okay. Let's go to the next awesome fight.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about the main, the co-main event of the evening. And here we had Riley taking on Aswell Jr. Give it to me, Jim.
Decision. If you can't finish, what are we doing? I know people want to say this was a good fight. They fought real hard. Blah, blah. I guess. But we were starved for finishes. Look at this. Decision. I mean, this should have been a finish. That's my critique.
At this point, we were 2 for 2. Two finishes and 2 decisions.
Still felt like they were all decisions. I mean, Ewo beat up. It's like Ewo went to school, beat up the kid who can't play well. It's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go fight the kid with can't do anything. I feel like, dude, that's not might as well be a decision. We decided it was a good fight.
No, that was not a good fight. I get it.
Mm.
I get what you're saying. Look, we all hate. Look, I don't care how hardcore of fan you call yourself. Please don't tell me that you ever like it being left in the hands of the judges, right? Nobody likes that. Here, hey, look, I mean, I pick Riley by TKO. So, he let me down in that way because, again, I played into the hype of how well he was, beating other opponents. So, what that actually leads me off to do is to tip my hat off to somebody I disrespected, Mr. Aswell Jr., because, I mean, you could see when both of them stepped into that ring how much bigger Riley was, how much more confident in this and that. You're like, okay, this guy's going to steamroll him. And Mr. Aswell Jr. performed much better than I
Yeah.
predicted. He used good boxing, straight shots, dude, decent movement to score and survive. I mean, dude, he just didn't have the power or the size to get Riley to respect him, and certainly not to hurt him. But on the flip side, hey, Riley didn't get close to finishing him either. So I chalk this up as an outstanding performance for Aswell for his level and a lackluster performance for Riley.
I'm going to say this. Michael as well. Thank you, Google. Just trying to make sure we don't get demonetized. Um, wow. Where was this as well? Because he was as good as Riley. This is also, isn't Riley out of Patty's gym?
Yep.
Yeah, it's not Curtis. Curtis is from whatever place. Remember what we saw with Patty, right? Patty he went to like some alternate universe while Gaethje decided to become a champion, right? And yes, America, Gaethje's a full champion, right? Topuria ran away, did whatever Topuria does, and so Gaethje's the real champion. I don't want to hear about interim. That Topuria is a real wait, not Topuria. Poirier is a real champion, and Gaethje's a real champion. Everyone else can go jump on a lake. Aswell represented his country and his flag very well. He showed his toughness. He showed that,
Yep.
look, he knew he didn't have the skills that Riley could have someday, but he was going to stand toe to toe. So I give that an A plus. Why did I pick Riley? Because he knows enough to make it a okay fight and to survive. And look, don't forget, he's at home. Well, London isn't home for folks like him. He's from a different town, but still, he's in the same country, right? He's effectively at home. He's got Bisping glazing him or like saying super nice things. Bisping had his Hall of Fame moment. He took over the streets with fans, which, by the way, was a wonderful moment for Bisping. I mean, seriously, it's a very wonderful moment. Right? His story is amazing. So you're riding the English wave. By the way, the last time we talked about English waves, there was an armada. They took over the world. I don't know why everybody's excited about that. We aren't in America. Thank you very much. You can keep your darn tea. We drink coffee. So all I have to say is, Riley, yeah, go back to school. I would rethink whether or not where you're training is correct because they didn't prepare you for the fight. I'm going to say this full stop. It's not about a skill. It's about preparation. Every fight is situational. Not bad. 4 fingers. And he was not prepared at all. It's like he rolled out of bed and said, yo, I'm going to hit someone, and just went to the gym. Sorry, man. Got to call it like you see it. I picture the decision, but the decision is the effect of a lack of preparation or incorrect preparation. Let's talk about the big one. Come on, Junior. You're dying to talk about your new favorite fighter. Come on.
Well, listen, guys, this is why at the beginning of this cast, I said that I thought this card delivered better than expected. Because if you will remember what our preview looked like, what the banner was, it had Evloev absolutely lying on top of Murphy 3 times on that, right? On that graphic.
He was body surfing.
This,
Literally.
yeah, this fight surpassed my wildest expectations. I too thought that Evloev would Evloev Murphy, and instead we saw a whole new Evloev enter the ring. I mean, if you had told me that Evloev was going to end up with less than 4 minutes of ground control in a 25-minute fight, I would have thought you were insane. I mean, instead of chasing takedowns, man, he went in and flat out struck Murphy. Okay, he landed more significant strikes. He threw only 5, I think 4 or 5 less total strikes. But I'm like, where was this guy this whole time? And then on top of that, you threw in like the point deduction for like the nut shots, and you're like, and then it started getting really intriguing. So, we went from, look, everything in life is expectations. In fact, one of my favorite philosophers, was asked one time, hey, what would you say to somebody if they wanted to know the secret to a great marriage? And he goes, low expectations. This is what it was. I had the lowest of expectations, and I got this. So I'll take that and I'll throw it back to you, Jim.
I first off want to digest what you're saying. I don't know if that was about marriage, if that was about fighting. All I want to know is, Junior, who is that philosopher? Something like Rodney Dangerfield. Who is that philosopher?
Oh no, dude. Charlie Munger. Charlie Munger said,
Wait,
the key.
The great Charlie Munger's a philosopher.
Is low expectations, and guess what? There's a lot of fighting that goes on in marriages. So man, it is intertwined. So take it from there.
For all you people that are doing Charlie Munger, Munger, go read about him. He's phenomenal. Berkshire Hathaway. He was Warren Buffett's right-hand person for so long. Read all the things. There's whole things about his quotes. So well played, Junior. Evloev is a striker? Like, that's a question mark. Like, if you guys saw Ghostbusters, Bill Murray has this great line: cats and dogs sleeping together, end of the world, end times, like, oh, okay. Up is down, left is right. If you guys caught our live stream, we were like, I think it was Judy's like, what's it to start grappling? Like, feels like you should start grappling. Like, he's not. Because you could see at one point, if he didn't start grappling, his control time, he wouldn't be able to rack up enough. And so it was just at one point, you're going to put an overturn. Like, well, I guess we're going to strike. And this shows Lerone Murphy. It is the greatest example of what Lerone Murphy's problem is. He is an upright control time guy. Volumes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's done, man. Hey, that stuff's done. Just so you might go get it. It's fine. We'll wait. No. Lerone Murphy does what Evloev does on the ground. Pitter patter, volume strike, I'm going to hit you more. Barely do. There's no power. He delivers 0 power. I could take a punch. Well, I can take a lot of punches. But I'm saying Lerone Murphy will do 0 damage. It's as boring as what Evloev used to do lying down. Now, Evloev's like, hey, guess what? You're not going to hurt me, so why would I go grapple? Especially since the UFC has been penalizing control time. So he's like, well, if all I'm good at is control time, but if you look at this guy's decisions, he makes MVP look like nothing, right? This guy has got 3 times as many decisions, 3 times as MVP. And he's like, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to strike. And he struck effectively and efficiently. Only note, not that I should be giving notes to the guy who's going to go fight Volk. By the way, Mr. Silva, here's a mini rant. Stop handing out contracts to the UFC professionals asking for a title shot. Just go away for a little bit, okay? I understand. Just go away, okay? But look at this. The only note I got for Evloev is stop the spinning back fists. There was, 20 of them? That's got to go away. Maybe that's because he's never been a striker, but we know that doesn't work.
That might have been the fight with the most back fist attempts in the history of the sport, because he was throwing them when he wasn't even in kicking range. I mean, it was hilarious. I mean, it came in from nowhere, but it was, at least I'd rather see that than another takedown by him. Yeah. I gotta, there's a lot of credit to be given, because once you've gone this long, like Evloev, and fighting the style that you've had and you're undefeated, to completely change it, it had to be, like a daily reminder, a daily commitment in camp. It's almost like he showed up to the gym, and it said, remember, like, you know, the famous different college, college football places, you know, that put above the banner so that every time you walk through, you will play like a champion today type of stuff, like mentality. It's almost like you had to have one of those banners, and it says, you will not take anybody down today. You will only strike today. It just had to be ingrained throughout this whole thing, because he did not look at all like he did in any of his other fights. I don't even know how you do that, because I've never seen, to be honest,
Well, there's
a
one way.
fighter make that transition. It's insane. It's like he looks like a completely different guy. Like, in fact, if he was fighting this way, I think he would have gone a title shot way before. And that's what they realized. They're like, listen, but do you want a title shot or not? If
And
you do, we're going to have to like reprogram you. And they did, man. They reprogrammed him.
one answer to your question, we kind of talked about on the live stream. Where's he from? He's Chechen, right?
Mhm.
He's from a small. When I say small town, they make American Midwest towns look like nothing. This is a fly speck of nowhere outside of Grozny, right, Chechnya. But I always like to say, if you look on a map, you look to the left of Grozny, these folks actually don't train to the people to the right, which are the Dagestanis, right? They don't go to Khabib's gym. Okay, for whatever reason, they don't. We, not initiated into that culture, probably can't understand the difference between Chechens and Dagestanis. There is some, but if you think about it, Chimaev went to Sweden and then to other parts, right? And then gets adopted into the UAE, so he's got that. Where does Evloev train now? If he wanted to leave his Caucasus roots behind, he went to one place and they got him going. You called it, you know who's in his corner. He went to American Top Team, Coconut Creek, near Mike Brown in the corner. Period. End of statement. You want a place to get your game sharp and actually to make a good camp, not just camp. You want to train. Mind you, ATT's got grapplers. And he's probably grappling with Kayla, all day long. By the way, Kayla would destroy him. Kayla is just a different person, right? Well, Kayla would. I mean, Kayla is just a mountain of muscle. Wait. Who wouldn't pay to watch Evloev and Carl grapple? I would pay so much money for co-ed grappling. Just because I think she could win legitimately. Anyway, he though can polish a well-rounded game with one of the top gyms in the United States. I don't think he could have done that if he stayed in the Caucasus Mountains.
Agreed.
Right? It says a lot to everyone.
Well, there you have it.
Pick your gyms, pick your trainers, get ready for every fight individually. He had a plan, and he knew he didn't have to worry about getting punched in the face because Lauren Murphy was going to do any damage. Keep in mind, he damaged Murphy. So I'm going to go on a limb, everyone. Write this down. Early pick. He's obviously going to go fight Volk. He beats Volk in a stand-up game. He beats Volk. He beats, as long as it's not in Australia. If it's in Australia, he loses. Just saying. And the MSG card, Evloev Volk, Evloev beats Volk. And I love Volk. I love Volk the way some people love, love their family members. But
that is okay. Okay, that is as big as a turnaround in prediction as Evloev did in his fighting style. Because, okay, guys, for you guys that haven't been with us for this relatively short ride, I can't tell you how many times Bad Jim has expressed his displeasure and hatred for Evloev for being a human pancake, and now he's picking him against Volkanovski. So this is huge. This is monumental. I never in a million years would have thought that Bad Jim was now in Evloev's corner, rooting for him, saying, "This is my boy. He's going to take out Volkanovski striking." So pin it down, write it down. It's on the record.
just remember one thing. ATT needs a new champion. They lost Pantoja. They're going to put all that they've got behind Evloev. Everything they've got. They're going to have film breakdown, AI, simulators. They're going to turn Evloev into Topuria. You watch this. You watch this.
So we've gone. Okay, let me see. Okay, so now.
Jump that shark.
Bad Jim.
Jump that shark.
Bad Jim. Okay, let me get this
I don't
straight.
like Topuria anyway.
Bad Jim has gone from the pancake machine to taking the pancake machine to beating Volkanovski, striking, and then turning him into Topuria 2.0.
Hey.
And now I thought, okay, so now I'm starting to believe that the Earth is flat. I thought it was a sphere. I thought that we revolved. No. I think I got it all wrong. I think it's
Very
just
biblical.
flat, and we've just all been spun around.
I mean, just think about it. If you go over the edge of the Earth, you just end up in New Jersey. Oh, sorry, right. New Jersey. I would rather be in Cleveland than New Jersey. But I'm gonna say one thing for Evloev. If anyone out there knows this guy or knows Aaron ATT, I know, right? I will spar with you. You may punch me, knock me out, take me down, do whatever you want. So we win the belt. So we demonstrate the greatness and beat Volk. Because you know what? We need to. Volk can't just Diego Lopez's way through more championships. We need to win. Let's go, Evloev. I don't live that far from the gym. You just call me. Have your people call me. You don't even have to learn English. Just beat the snot out of me. Let's go.
Well, guys.
That's the worst thing that happened to me. Okay, how about a rant? We got a little bit of time.
Well, that wasn't a rant.
No, I got a good rant. I got a rant. Come on, don't you feel like ranting? Come on. Nope. Okay, I'll go. This one goes out to the one I love. Sorry, REM song. Y'all who don't know these references need to catch up. That's what Google's for, or Gemini, or whatever system you use. Oh, we didn't get paid to say the word Gemini, so not Gemini, I guess. Okay. It just came out that, the Fighting Nerd coach felt it wasn't appropriate or wouldn't be comfortable, whatever that means, with Volk in Huffy's corner. Wouldn't be comfortable with Huffy with Volk in Huffy's corner. Are you insane? Are you insane? Do you have something wrong upstairs? If you help create a very competent fighter, but somebody else takes him to the next level, just be a part of the chain of greatness. Have a little bit of class and dignity. Yeah, I said it. Class and dignity. Acknowledge your part in that. Leave your door open for him to come back. You don't have to lose a Fighting Nerd, but somehow you think it tarnishes your brand because Hoofy is doing something different. How about we just say, cool, man, I'll see you down the road. Or we could all share in that. Wouldn't you like a little bit of Volkanovski? Wouldn't you like to have a little bit of an association with that? Don't you think? Because it's one of the greatest fighters of all time. Period. Full stop. It's not like he went to some scrub nobody knows. He just wanted to sharpen up his game. It's my problem with the Fighting Nerds. It was a mystique. It was some aura, some marketing. And underneath the covers, it was pretty inconsistent and lumpy. Right? And I think sometimes these guys are really self-made. I know. We talk all the great coach. He knows what he's doing. Well, I don't know, man. I think a lot of these guys just have raw innate talent. They kind of muddle through on their own. And as soon as one of them pokes their head up to really, progress, oh my God, you can't leave the nest. Why? What'd you do? No, really, what'd you do for Huffy? I want to know. Because he was not the best of the nerds, and he's progressing. But he progressed further once he started training in Australia. Sorry, those are facts. Facts matter, right? You got anything to add to this? By the way, so my final bit of the rant is, run, Huffy, run! Just do what you got to do, brother. We want to see all the Fighting Nerds, because I think it's great to have another gym, another group coming out of Brazil. We all want to see Brazil succeed on the fight scene. You guys are really leading the charge now, right? Particularly some other careers are coming to a wind down. We want you all to succeed and do what you all have to do no matter what. Don't let anyone tell you to stop. What do you think there, Mr. Junior?
Look, probably people being people, you know, people are territorial. And so he probably feels that, somebody's sort of like trampling on his turf. Ultimately, the fighter is the one that has to decide whether he needs additional exposure to get better. If he doesn't, then he doesn't. But if he does and he doesn't go along that route, then he's only short shooting himself. And that's why for the longest time, people have gone to train at different gyms to get different even just to get different opponents, because nobody's
Yeah.
simply just going to come to you. I mean, they don't have the time. Everybody, like, if you're preparing for a really high level fight and you think that going and training with a certain person can give you that sort of same or mimic their style, you go and do it. And if your coach says no, well, then you're either in a disagreement or you got the wrong coach. The whole point is that you're trying to get better. So yeah, I agree with you. It's like, he's got to make a decision and see what's best for him. And, that's why people leave coaches.
Oh, wonderful. Look, everyone, we appreciate y'all sticking with us. We've had some really great growth lately. We're trying to make sure we stay monetized so we can, right, stay more available to everybody. And despite our jokes, it is important that we connect with everyone, like, subscribe, or whatever. Reach out to us or just listen, right? Hopefully, we're that moment in your day when you're like, "Oh, that was kind of interesting. Oh, what a different point." We aren't going to break everything down super technical. We aren't, right? We're not doing MMA math, and we are not afraid to be wrong. I'm wrong all the time. This is just about having fun. So, Junior, I appreciate you taking your time. And for those of you out there that actually do some YouTube stuff, you realize how much time and effort this takes. So, but we also want to make it better for you. Any comments, criticisms, anything we can do different, let us know. But at the end of the day, we all love you, right? It's okay to be a combat sports enthusiast and say, man, I love the community. I love everything about it. Let's just have fun. What do you think?
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks, Pat Jim.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.